Talent. I'm Juan Carlos Vera. I've taught classical guitar at Miami-Dade College for the past 25 years. The piece you just heard is by the Venezuelan composer Antonio Lauro, who lived from 1917 to 1986. El Maravino, a title referring to a person from the state of Maracaibo, Venezuela, is typical of Lauro's work, characterized by seductive melodies, folkloric rhythms, and inventive accompaniments. Interestingly, his works were often named after members of his family, not foregoing mother, wife, son, daughter, and granddaughters. Fittingly somehow, Antonio Lauro's father had been a picturesque Italian barber musician with several compositions to his own name. Not an existential composer, unlike his more introspective Mexican contemporary, Manuel Ponce, Antonio Lauro's music is unpretentious, simply relishing the beauty of the moment. And in a moment, we'll be talking to 6 of my students from continuing education who recently performed in unison the famous guitar concerto in D major by the Italian Baroque composer Antonio Vivaldi, a performance that we'll be showcasing throughout the program and which features the renowned South Florida Youth Symphony Orchestra led by its director, Marjorie Hahn. This guitar performance was sponsored by philanthropists Dolce and Alan Weisenberg, in close consultation with their jet-set dog, Sparky, seen here vacationing in Italy. As usual, we'll be displaying our contact information throughout the show in case you'd like to send us an email or give us a call. And now we'd like to welcome the 6 guests who performed the Vivaldi concerto. Welcome, all of you. We want to tell the audience about the concert that all of you played. Where did the concert take place? Who would like to answer that, Juan Pablo? Where was it? Anybody knows where it was? You were there, right?
St. Thomas University.
St. Thomas?
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, are you sure? Are you sure you went to the right place?
Miami-Dade College.
About Florida Memorial University. Was that the place?
I think, yeah.
I think so. The first of all, would you tell the audience what is a concerto for guitar and orchestra? What is that? Hurley?
A concerto is
For guitar and orchestra, what does that mean? That you play by yourself, or that the orchestra plays by itself, or that you're playing together?
It's kind of both. You play by yourself, and then there's point of the song when you play with the orchestra. So it's like a solo or duet part with the orchestra and yourself.
So it's like a dialogue
Yeah,
between the
between
orchestra
themselves.
and the guitar. How many sections did the piece have?
It had 3 sections.
3 sections. Were they all the same speed, or are they contrasting speeds?
Contrasting speeds.
Which of those was the most challenging out of the 3? Jimena?
I believe that it was the 3rd part
The 3rd part? Why?
because it had really difficult movements. You have to play like notes in one beat at
Really
a time.
fast.
Yeah, really fast.
What about for you, Matt?
It was the 3rd part for me too.
The 4th is
because,
there?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
there were certain parts that were really hard to play, especially the part with the rest strokes near the
Uh-huh.
end.
What about for you, Ian?
Difficult.
I think it was the 3rd part too, because
Mhm.
you had to play with your thumb on like the 2nd and the 3rd string. That was pretty weird.
Juan Pablo?
For me, it was the 2nd part because it was pretty slow.
Uh-huh.
So every note had to be on beat, and you'd have to concentrate.
There's a long time between notes.
Yeah.
Going slow.
So you have to concentrate on
Difficult to
each.
keep the beat.
Mhm.
On that day, was there a full house? Was it packed? Yeah? By the way, we're going to be showing your full names so everybody can see your first and last names on the screen.
Yeah, it was kind of packed.
Is it difficult to perform for a full house, packed, playing for many people? How do you feel about that one, Pablo?
Well, I wasn't that nervous because I've played in front of an audience before, so I was kind of used to it, and it felt the same. But this one it had a lot of people.
How about you,
So,
Jimena?
yeah.
You feel comfortable playing?
Yeah, but it was really excited to collaborate with everybody.
Mm-hmm. How about you? You get nervous playing in front of so many people, Matt?
At first I did, but then I tried not to concentrate on as many people. I was just like concentrating on the orchestra and then the other guitar players.
You were the youngest, Jeremy. You were 10 years old when you did this. How did you do?
Good.
Huh?
I did pretty good.
You were sitting right at the edge, so everybody could see you. Huh?
Yeah.
How about you, Ian? You get Hurley. You get nervous. Well, you meet every week and you play in front of other students, and so you're used to that, right?
Yeah, I'm used to it.
It's not a big deal for you. All right. Well, now we want to show you a little bit of that concert. In fact, the first movement of the concert, and we'll come back in a moment with more.
Three, two.
Be focused. Be original. Be a trendsetter. Be an explorer. Be the solution. Be visionary. Be a hero. Be the answer. Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Welcome back. I'm Juan Carlos Vera with my 6 guests who performed the Vivaldi Concerto with the South Florida Youth Symphony Orchestra. That was a very impressive first movement of the piece. By the way, which is your favorite segment? Which is your favorite movement? Jimena?
My favorite movie was the second because it was slow and it was a really nice, enjoyable
More
piece
enjoyable music.
before getting to the third piece.
How about you, Jeremy? The fast part?
The third one.
Did you enjoy playing the fast scales?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
All of them, because they were all easy.
All of it.
Yeah.
Now, is it difficult to synchronize your playing with the orchestra so that you're together with it, Juan Pablo?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, because sometimes we're all on the same beat and all playing together, so it sounds like one instrument. And
You have to be listening for
Yeah.
the orchestra. How do you practice a piece like this when there's no orchestra at home and you're going to play with the orchestra? Matt?
Well, we use a software called Finale,
Oh yeah?
where we would play with our computer, which would make the sounds that the orchestra would play during, and then we would also meet about like 4 times every single week, almost every single day, to practice with the other students and the computer software.
So you were meeting up to 4 times a week. For how long? How many months did you do that to get ready for this performance? Ian?
I think it was about 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months of that, meeting every week, 3 or 4 times. For how long each time?
A couple hours.
Couple of hours.
Yeah, like
Several times a week. That's very intense. When you're playing with the orchestra, Jeremy, is it difficult to hear yourself? You have loud instruments around you. Could you actually hear yourself while you were playing on the concert, Jeremy?
A little bit.
Huh?
A little bit.
How about you? Did you hear your own playing, or was it difficult to hear it at times?
Well, it was really hard to. It wasn't hard to keep up, but since like Juan Pablo said, that we could hear one instrument only, and it was really easy.
How about you guys? You had trouble listening to your own playing, or pretty easy? Are you aware of anybody else in the country who has done a performance like this, especially with such younger players, 10-year-old? Most of you were 11 or 12 at the time. Of course, we had the older students on the back. Did you feel, the older students, did you feel a responsibility to lead the younger students, to help them out early?
Yes.
In what sense? Were you very conscious of the rhythm so that everybody would
Yeah.
follow you?
To keep everyone in track and rhythm. So whenever we played with the orchestra, whenever someone was like out of beat, I'll try to play like a little louder so the others could follow and we could all stay at the same pace.
Did you look at the conductor, Jimena, while you were playing, or you were just looking at what you were doing?
Yeah, I had to. The conductor told me to look at her so I can follow how high I should play and everything I have to do.
So dynamics, changes in volume, playing louder.
Yeah.
Did you do a good job on that? Were you able to watch her and stay and
Yeah,
follow her instructions?
It was easy because since I already knew the piece by memory, I was able to watch her at the same time, follow with the orchestra.
Now, Juan Pablo, you played the whole thing from memory, right? All of you. How difficult was it to memorize an entire piece of that type?
Well, the first part was actually learning the piece and how to treat it, and each part, how fast and slow it was, and then the second part, actually memorizing the piece, which took some time, but we did it because we've practiced it so much that we actually know everything that we need to know of the piece.
Ian, how did you deal with that aspect of memorizing an entire three movement piece?
I didn't think it was that hard because we met up and we practiced it almost every day, and we had to play it from memory almost every day.
So memory was not a problem, right, Jeremy? No. You memorize very well. You have no trouble memorizing music.
No.
You're very experienced. You started at what age to play the guitar?
Age 5.
Age 5. Wow. All right, and now we're going to enjoy another segment of the performance with the South Florida Youth Symphony conducted by Marjorie Hahn of the Antonio Vivaldi Concerto for Guitar in D major. And we'll be back in a moment.
Be creative. Be a hero. Be the solution. Be connected. Be innovative. Be global. Be successful. Be you. Be MDC. Be Miami-Dade College.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Juan Carlos Vera again with 6 students who performed the Vivaldi Concerto for Guitar in D major with the South Florida Youth Symphony, and we just saw the second movement of the piece, the slow movement. How did the audience respond after the performance? Juan Pablo?
Well, the audience seemed very happy and actually excited that such young students and an orchestra
Mm-hmm.
actually played a very complicated piece, and I think they'd want to hear it again. So
So
yeah.
you felt the response, you felt the power of the audience in Mena. What did you feel after the concert?
I was really happy with what I did and what I accomplished with everybody else.
Uh-huh. Did you feel the applause? Was it strong? Was it loud? Jeremy? Right after the performance ended, what was the immediate reaction of the audience?
And they started clapping really loud.
Uh-huh. Cheering? Matt, what did you feel?
I felt really happy, and I didn't realize how many people were there until at the end when we finally stopped playing and
The lights
took our
came on, and
bows.
then you
Yeah,
saw.
I finally realized that there was so many people watching us.
Uh-huh. So you felt a strong reaction.
Yes.
Shirley? You felt that?
Yeah.
What did you see? Your mom?
Yeah.
Did you get a standing ovation, Ian? Did the audience respond with a standing ovation?
Yeah.
Did they get up? Well,
Yeah.
it takes a lot to bring an audience like that up to their feet. Did you sign autographs, Jeremy? No. What, no autographs? No. Not even Emily, your sister, asked you for one? No. Now, the most important thing is how much money did you make? Where you got paid? How much? Like thousands? Huh? What? You gotta get an agent. No money? Did they take you out for dinner, your parents, afterwards? No. No? So what did you get in return? Well, they were probably tired. Months and months of this intense training. At what point during this preparation training did you feel that you were ready, that you had mastered the piece? Juan Pablo? Was it at the beginning, middle, towards the end of the preparation?
It was around towards the end, because after around 2 months, we've actually practiced the song many times, so I felt ready to play it in a concert.
At what point did you feel, Jimena, that you had really mastered the piece, that there was nothing in the piece that you could not play?
I also thought in the end, when we already had mastered the piece with everybody and we're on the same beat with this, all the music.
So all of you felt like one player, right? How about you? Did you get the same feeling of mastering it right at the end of the process of getting ready?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes.
What did you feel?
I felt like I got it very good, but towards the end.
So you had worked out the most difficult passages to the point that you felt that you could play it. How about you, Ian? When did you feel ready?
I felt ready towards the end.
You felt that you had mastered the whole piece, because there were difficulties. Each segment had a special difficulty, right? Now, when the day of the concert, when you stepped out, were you confident, absolutely confident, as you walked onto stage, that you could do this, Matt?
At first, I was like doubting myself, but then when as I started playing, I realized that I would be able to do it, and I would feel confident while playing.
Were you absolutely confident when you stepped out?
Yes, I was confident because after all those practices, I knew it would be worth it.
Great. All right, and now we're going to watch the third movement of the Vivaldi Concerto with the South Florida Youth Symphony, conducted by Marjorie Hahn, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to our talent, Juan Carlos Vera, and we just saw the third movement of the Vivaldi Concerto with the South Florida Youth Symphony and our 6 students who performed on that day. And I want to thank all of them for coming in today and sharing your experiences of that great performance. Thank you all. And we'll be back soon with another episode of Our Talent. I'm Juan Carlos Vera.